I would like to use this opportunity to say that it's been a privilege to exchange today on European competitiveness and on strengthening strategic autonomy of Europe, of the European Union, but also making sure that the ongoing initiative of integrating accession countries way ahead of their full membership in the European Union is actually bringing economic benefits both to the European Union but also to the wider European space. I believe that it is very important, especially at these complex and dynamic times full of uncertainty, to think of that statement of Benjamin Franklin, that we better hang in together, otherwise we'll hang separately. And I believe that all the messages that were sent today were of crucial importance. I believe that the fact that the countries, accession countries, first of all Montenegro, where I come from, already joined the single euro payment area and integrated as of last November, and that we are joining the TIPS, that it already sends a very strong signal in terms of convergence and further strengthening integration of the economies on the European continent. It will bring together and direct and indirect benefits of 2.3% of GDP growth on a yearly basis, and reduce the income gap with the European Union over a decade by over 11 percentage points, which means that Montenegro, which is the next accession country, which has been negotiating for 15 years, which aims to complete negotiations in 2026 and join the EU in 28, will be closing and narrowing income gap with the European Union and coming to 75% in a decade. I believe that initiatives like this are welcome, and I believe that global uncertainty and economic and political challenges that we are facing on the European continent in terms of European political and economic standing on the global platform are very important wake-up call for further initiatives in terms of cohesion, in terms of strengthening competitiveness on the entire European continent. And I believe that integration of accession countries, not only of Montenegro, which is pending and forthcoming in 28, but all other accession countries, including Ukraine, actually open new doors for the European Union, open new doors to growing economies, to new investment opportunities closer to home, and to further reinforcing economic and overall resilience of the European Union. I can say that as governor of the central bank, I'm also representing an economy that has been using the euro for over 25 years. Prior to euroization, it was using the Deutschmark as the only legal tender. It's a country that has been aligned with the common foreign security policy of the European Union since 2007, when we signed Stabilization Association Agreement and when we became a candidate country. And I believe that also in terms of the fact that as a NATO member state and a country which knows where its strategic priorities lie, and they are undeniably linked to the European strength and future and resilience, that we are on the good track of making a successful epilogue for all. On specific areas of today's economic and financial dialogue and ECFIN Council, I should say that I'm really encouraged with the progress on Savings and Investments Union. It's very important for reinforcing strategic autonomy in the AI, in innovation, in defense. It's very important to link the savings of European citizens with the productive investments. And when it comes to competitiveness compass 24 to 29, I believe that this was much awaited and much needed step, especially after Letta and Mario Draghi's reports, and clearly after a number of analyses which show that Europe needs to go forward in terms of strengthening its strategic autonomy and making sure that there is a closure of innovation gap, that there is linkage between decarbonization and clearly further productivity and economic growth, and that we ultimately need to make sure that there is deregulation and streamlining of the regulatory framework. From the perspective of Montenegro, perspective of a smaller acceding member state, I should just say that it is very important to ensure predictability of the incoming EU regulation. It is important because private investments are discouraged if there is too frequent change in legislation and if there are overlapping rules, which is sometimes the case. It is also important to ensure proportionality because small and medium enterprises and financial agents in financial markets in a number of medium-sized and smaller EU member states sometimes are overburdened and essentially under a strain with too much of regulation and need to transpose too much of regulation in complex circumstances, which leads to decrease in their competitiveness. And also it's very important to implement digital-first solutions in the regulatory framework. I believe that that is an area where we need to make sure that our payments, the faster and as fast as possible adoption of the legislation on the digital euro, but also the first digital first solutions in public services is very important for strengthening competitiveness of all EU economies and those that are becoming part of the European Union. Thank you.